You already right here. Subscribe to my channel. Hit that like button. And yeah, let's get to it, man.
For every iconic WWE event like WrestleMania and Royal Rumble, there are dozens of failed experiments the company would rather not talk about. In this video, we're looking back at the obscure wrestling pay-per-views that you probably forgot existed. Kicking off our list with WWE's failed experiment from 2010, Fatal 4-Way. Back in June 2010, Vince decided to replace the Bash with this brand new concept. And honestly, the name pretty much tells you everything you need to know. The entire gimmick was that multiple matches on the card would be contested as Fatal 4-Way matches because apparently the company thought that was creative enough to build an entire pay-per-view around. The event took place at the Nassau Coliseum in Long Island and featured matches from both Raw and SmackDown. The main event saw John Cena, Randy Orton, Edge, and Sheamus battling for the WWE Championship, while Big Show, CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, and Jack Swagger competed for the World Heavyweight Championship. Sheamus won the WWE title from Cena, while Mysterio captured the World Heavyweight Championship by dethroning Swagger. But here's the thing. Despite having two massive championship changes, Fatal 4-Way only pulled in 143,000 pay-per-view buys, which was a significant drop from the Bash the previous year. The show also featured an entertaining match between The Miz and R-Truth for the United States Championship, plus Kofi Kingston defending the Intercontinental title against Drew McIntyre. The matches weren't bad, but the concept felt forced and WWE knew it. This would be the only Fatal 4-Way event ever produced, as the idea was taken off the calendar the following year. But while Fatal 4-Way was a bland one-and-done concept, let's talk about an interactive pay-per-view that was actually fun.
Cyber Sunday.
Before you had the entire internet complaining about Triple H's booking on Twitter every week, WWE experimented with fan interaction through an annual event that ran from 2006 to 2008 called Cyber Sunday, though it originally started as Taboo Tuesday back in 2004. The entire concept of Cyber Sunday was that fans could vote on match stipulations, opponents, and even special guest referees through WWE's website and on.
Yo, that's lit. They let fans vote like what kind of match they was gonna have and the opponents and stuff like that. They need to bring that back. Triple H, go ahead, man. Bring back Cyber Sunday. It'll solve all your problems. That way you ain't gotta have people on Twitter complaining every week.
Match stipulations, opponents, and even special guest referees through WWE's website, and honestly, the concept was ahead of its time. The 2006 event featured over 14 million votes cast, with fans deciding everything from which championship would be defended in a triple threat main event to who would referee D-Generation X versus Rated RKO. The 2007 event saw Batista face Undertaker for the World Heavyweight Championship with Stone Cold as the referee. The 2008 edition, which ended up being the final Cyber Sunday, had fans voting for stipulations like last man standing and no-holds-barred matches. But here's the problem. While the concept was innovative, the execution was inconsistent. Fans complained that WWE would heavily promote one option, making it obvious which choice would win. The voting results sometimes felt predetermined, which defeated the entire purpose of fan interaction. By 2008, buy rates had dropped to 153,000, and Vince decided to pull the plug. The concept was cool, but the company couldn't commit to making it feel genuinely unpredictable. But shifting gears from interactive voting, let's talk about a brand warfare concept that lasted exactly 2 years.
Bragging rights. I remember this.
In 2009, WWE replaced Cyber Sunday with this new pay-per-view built around Raw versus SmackDown. Both brands would face off in a series of interpromotional matches, with a bragging rights trophy awarded to the brand that won the most matches. The 2009 event featured Raw's U.S. champion The Miz taking on SmackDown's Intercontinental champion John Morrison, a women's tag match, and a massive multi-man tag team match featuring stars like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Chris Jericho. SmackDown won the trophy with a 2-1 record, but here's the thing. Nobody actually cared about the trophy. The real focus of both bragging rights events was always on the World Championship matches that had nothing to do with brand supremacy. The 2009 show was headlined by an incredible 60-minute Iron Man match between John Cena and Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. Undertaker also defended the World Heavyweight Championship in a fatal 4-way against CM Punk, Batista, and Rey Mysterio. These matches were great, but they completely overshadowed the brand warfare angle. The 2010 event was even worse in terms of commitment to the concept. Instead of 3 brand versus brand matches, there were only 2, an inter-promotional match between Daniel Bryan and Dolph Ziggler, and the multi-man tag match. The main event was Kane defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Undertaker in a buried alive match, while Randy Orton defended the WWE Championship against Wade Barrett. Again, the championship matches had nothing to do with brand warfare, and the whole bragging rights concept felt like an afterthought. The event drew only 137,000 buys in 2010, down 24% from the previous year, and the company discontinued it after just 2 years. The first brand split ended in 2011, and bragging rights was replaced by vengeance. The concept was revived years later for Survivor Series during the second brand split, but the original bragging rights events remain forgotten examples of WWE trying to make brand warfare feel important when they clearly didn't believe in it themselves. But while bragging rights at least had a logical concept behind it, this next pay-per-view had perhaps the most ridiculous name in history.
Great ball.
Yes, that's a real pay-per-view name. And yes, WWE actually went through with it despite massive criticism on social media. Great Balls of Fire took place in July 2017 at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, and was exclusive to the Raw brand during the second brand split era. The event was originally announced as a revival of Bad Blood and was supposed to be held in Hartford, Connecticut, but WWE scrapped those plans and decided to go with the most meme-worthy name possible instead. The internet had a field day with it, but here's the surprising part. The actual show was really good. The card was stacked with quality matches. Brock Lesnar defended the Universal Championship against Samoa Joe in a hard-hitting main event that showcased Joe as a legitimate threat to the Beast. Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman delivered a brutal ambulance match. Cesaro and Sheamus defended the Raw Tag Team Championships against the Hardy Boys in a 30-minute Iron Man match that was a show stealer, with the champions retaining 4-3. The Miz retained the Intercontinental Championship against Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt beat Seth Rollins, and Alexa Bliss retained the Raw Women's Championship against Sasha Banks via countout. Despite the ridiculous name, Great Balls of Fire was considered one of the better WWE shows of 2017. The matches delivered, the storylines made sense, and the crowd was hot all night. But their overall number of yearly events. Great Balls of Fire never returned, and it remains one of wrestling's most bizarrely named shows that actually delivered in the ring.
Great Balls of Fire
proved that a ridiculous name can't ruin a good wrestling show, this next pay-per-view proved that a gimmick concept can absolutely tank an entire event.
Breaking point.
In September 2009, WWE replaced their annual Unforgiven event with a submission-themed show. The show took place on September 13th, 2009 at the Bell Center in Montreal and featured John Cena versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship in an I Quit match that was actually pretty brutal. D-Generation X battled Legacy in a submissions count anywhere match. Kofi Kingston defended the United States Championship against The Miz. Chris Jericho and Big Show retained the Unified Tag Team Championships, and Kane defeated the Great Khali in a Singapore Kane match. But the main...
Whatever happened to Great Khali? I ain't gonna lie. Kofi Kingston when he was SOS, and then yeah, I remember that Kofi Kingston. Y'all remember the New Day Kofi Kingston? I hated when he joined the New Day. They just changed his whole character around. It just rubbed me the wrong way. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't like Kofi Kingston when he joined the New Day. They making boxes of cereal and all that kind of... I couldn't stand that. But let's continue.
Is where everything fell apart. CM Punk defended the World Heavyweight Championship against The Undertaker in a submission match, and WWE decided to book one of the most infuriating finishes in history. Undertaker locked Punk in the Hell's Gate submission, Punk tapped out, and the crowd erupted thinking Taker had won. But then SmackDown General Manager Teddy Long came out and restarted the match, claiming Hell's Gate was banned as a submission hold. Undertaker was jumped from behind, Punk locked in the Anaconda Vice, and the referee called for the bell even though Undertaker didn't tap out. It was essentially a Montreal screwjob finish in Montreal, which felt lazy and repetitive. The entire event felt underwhelming because WWE didn't fully commit to the submission concept. Only 3 matches actually had submission stipulations, while the rest of the card featured standard matches and gimmick bouts that had nothing to do with the theme. The pay-per-view drew 169,000 buys, which was down significantly from Unforgiven's 211,000 buys the previous year. But while Breaking Point tried to reinvent submission wrestling, this next pay-per-view had perhaps the most politically charged concept ever attempted in wrestling.
Capital punishment.
In June 2011, WWE replaced Fatal 4-Way with this Washington, D.C. themed event, and the entire premise revolved around the location of the nation's capital. WWE went all in on the theme, with the promotional poster featuring an Obama caricature serving as a referee between John Cena and Rey Mysterio. And to top it all off, WWE hired a Barack Obama impersonator to make an appearance at the event. The entire concept felt awkward and forced from the start. The show itself took place on June 19th, 2011 at the Verizon Center in Washington, D.C. and
Man, y'all boys had some bad script writers. Y'all was better off having me pick the matches and the pay-per-views. What the hell is this? Vince, this is your fault. I know you had something to do with this shit. Capital punishment. Who else had a hand in this? Because I knew it just wasn't Vince making this shit up. It got to be somebody else too. This shit was trash. I don't even remember this.
John Cena retained the WWE Championship against R-Truth in the main event. Randy Orton defeated Christian to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Ezekiel Jackson won the Intercontinental Championship from Wade Barrett. And Dolph Ziggler captured the United States Championship from Kofi Kingston. The undercard had a mix of matches including Alex Riley defeating The Miz, Alberto Del Rio beating Big Show, and CM Punk defeating Rey Mysterio. But here's the thing. Despite all the political theatrics, the show was mediocre at best. The matches were fine but nothing special. And the whole Washington gimmick added nothing meaningful to the event. Capital Punishment drew 170,000 pay-per-view buys, which was actually up from Fatal 4-Way's 143,000. But WWE clearly didn't think it was worth continuing. Sometimes a location-based theme just isn't enough to carry an entire pay-per-view. But
knock, knock. Ding dong. Donut, stop watching. It's snack time.
speaking of location-based events, let's talk about WWE's series of United Kingdom exclusive pay-per-views in the early 2000s. From 2000 to 2003, WWE held this annual event exclusively for British audiences. And honestly, most wrestling fans outside the UK have no idea these shows even happened. Insurrection was broadcast only in the United Kingdom on Skybox Office, though it also aired in Canada on Viewer's Choice, and the 2002 and 2003 editions eventually made it to the United States on tape delay. The first three events were held when the company was still called the World Wrestling Federation, with the 2002 event being the very last pay-per-view held under the WWF name before the company changed to WWE. The events took place in major UK venues like Earl's Court in London and the Telewest Arena in Newcastle, featuring WWE's biggest stars in matches that technically counted but rarely had any major storyline implications. The final Insurrection in 2003 saw Triple H defeat Kevin Nash in a street fight to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. Christian beat Booker T to keep the Intercontinental title, and Kane and Rob Van Dam defended the World Tag Team Championships against La Resistance. After the 2003 event, the company discontinued all UK exclusive pay-per-views because they started broadcasting Raw and SmackDown from the UK in 2004, making these special events unnecessary. Insurrection remains a footnote in wrestling history, remembered mainly by UK fans who actually attended and hardcore collectors who own the DVDs. But shifting from forgotten international events to modern failures, let's talk about the 2019 disaster.
Stomping grounds.
WWE originally scheduled Backlash for June 16, 2019 in San Diego, California. But in late April, they announced that Backlash was canceled and would just be a house show instead. The replacement was a brand new event called Stomping Grounds, scheduled for June 23rd at the Tacoma Dome in Washington. The name meant absolutely nothing. There was no theme or gimmick behind it, and WWE gave fans virtually no reason to care about yet another B-level pay-per-view. The card featured Seth Rollins defending the Universal Championship.
Man, who coming up with these ideas? These are ass, man. Y'all need like a creative director or something. But man, what the hell is this? Stomping Grounds. Y'all need to pick better names, better locations, better concepts. Y'all just all over the place, ain't it? Triple H would never do this. Shout out to my guy Triple H. When he running the company, this ain't going on. There might be some ass matches and there might be some people that get put over the top that don't make sense. But hey, he do his thing, man.
About yet another B-level pay-per-view. The card featured Seth Rollins defending the Universal Championship against Baron Corbin with Lacey Evans as special guest referee, Kofi Kingston retaining the WWE Championship against Dolph Ziggler in a steel cage match, and Roman Reigns beating Drew McIntyre. Ricochet defeated Samoa Joe for the United States Championship, Becky Lynch retained the Raw Women's Championship against Lacey Evans, and the New Day faced Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a tag match. But But here's the brutal part. Nobody showed up. The Tacoma Dome has a capacity of around 22,000 for wrestling events, and Stomping Grounds drew approximately 6,000 fans. That's less than a third of capacity. The company was forced to tarp off the TV side of the arena to make it look fuller during the broadcast. The event only generated 11,000 pay-per-view purchases, one of the
False
lowest numbers
advertisement,
in the
huh?
company's history. Critics and fans immediately pointed out that the card was filled with rematches and storylines nobody cared about. Everything felt lazy and recycled, and the generic name did nothing to make the event feel special or different from any other show. The event was so poorly received that Vince immediately brought back Backlash next year and never mentioned Stomping Grounds again. WWE in 2019 was an absolute mess. Roman Reigns was eating dog food, Lashley was stealing Rusev's wife, Taker and Goldberg almost ended each other. And if you want to find out exactly why 2019 was the worst year in WWE,
Gold Taker, I said Gold Taker, Goldberg and Undertaker, man. I remember that match. One of the worst matches I ever seen in my life. Shout out to Undertaker, man. That's my GOAT though. But yeah, man, these these pay-per-view. This should be titled the most trashiest WWE pay-per-views only OGs remember. Cause this shit was ass. I'm not gonna lie. All of these pay-per-views need to be never seen again. Now, Triple H, I can help you out with some pay-per-views if you need some more ideas. Just hit me up, give me a call. I got you, man. I got great ideas. My brain worked tremendously. I'm telling you, man. They ain't even mentioned none of the pay-per-views I said at the beginning. I said Armageddon. Maybe because there wasn't like no straight up themes behind it, like a certain thing you had to do, you know, because Breaking Point, they had the submission thing where you had to beat your opponent by submission. All the other pay-per-views I said was just regular pay-per-views, I guess. But I'm out of here, man.